a kind of a sneaky good performance. There wasn't a lot of eyes on them, right?
It's weird though.
They got top 6, but
it's like you want them to do better, but again, for their open performances this year, it's kind of good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, they had a solid group play. No, they lost to someone. They lost someone winners round 1. Then Sunday they beat TK. They beat Mind Freak. So some solid games on Sunday.
Absolutely, they need a solid 5-game series here against EnVy. We'll see what they're able to do. Not a lot of points coming in the opening 30 seconds. Only 7 on the board right now for FaZe. EnVy, you have to make their presence known there. They'll be able to get on the board. They're still retaining the top spawn as we'll get ready to rotate into Winery here shortly. But nothing big, at least from that first hard point outside of EnVy maintaining spawns.
No, definitely, you know, I mean, as you said, you know, you have Decimate set up here. You have a couple of players off spawn starting to rotate towards that Winery. But, you know, going back to Anaheim, there's a couple of players you want to point out. The side of EnVy, it's Hook. I mean, Hook had like a 1.21 at the event, played so well. Has really continued to play at that level ever since the roster change.
He's been a lock for like a 1-2 recently.
Yeah, he's been at a very high level. Attach on the side of FaZe was the best player, the only player positive for FaZe Clan. Had a fantastic Anaheim. Really the big story for FaZe was, where was Zuma? That he was not there at all. He did not have a good event.
What's weird is, though, is he probably individually has his worst event, but they have their best finish at open, so that's kind of odd.
So we'll have to watch Zuma throughout this series, see if he can bring it back. But as you said, I mean, once again, they got top 6. They kind of snuck in on in there, you know, Sunday. But, you know, they have a 20-point lead here, and you can see a lot of split spawns coming in as we head towards that parking lot. The only EnVy player was Hook. Hook was able to win one on replays, but he is alone. He's trying to get help from number 5. That's Classic, and Hook is staying alive. This is so key, and you can see what happens. Priesta spawns all the way out. Attach now. He's able to spot 1 replays, finally able to get Hook as well.
It's a 3-on-3. Right now as they're pushing in. It's actually 2 players now, 3, spawning all the way out for EnVy. Those opening gunfights all going to go to FaZe Clan, and they'll get set up with an early advantage here on this particular hardpoint. Also some streaks starting to come in. Priesta making plays at mid-map. 2 kills to his name there. 3rd, lined up at the car. Excellent stuff from him as he continues to patrol mid-map, stay up, make his presence known, and really make it difficult for EnVy to put any kind of pressure whatsoever onto this hardpoint. The only way they found kills in the hardpoint were nades up until this point. Finally, there's the swarm. The presence at mid-map drops for FaZe Clan, and EnVy able to break in with just over 20 seconds to go.
Yep, 2 from Hook there, 2 from Decimate as well. A clean break. They got all 4 dead. There was no even trades from FaZe Clan. See right there, yeah. Zuma, who's sitting at 9-4, he got some streaks. Classic, though, he's finally able to find a couple of kills as he gets 3 in a row.
It's funny. I tried to point at the screen for you, but it's so gigantic and we're so far away.
I have no idea what you're
Well, I was trying to point out that Classic was 1-7 right before that, and he actually started to get going.
That's what
pick it up as well. I was trying to point at Classic 1-7. You guys can't see our setup here, but
pointed at the top right now. It's like, of course, yes.
Oh,
absolutely. Clint Zuma 9-4.
So usually at you know, when we're at the major events, we got like a little monitor in front of us, like kind of, it's like arms length away. I can point directly to it. It's a joke.
Or you point bottom right and you talk about streaks. Like, you just pointed at the scoreboard. So, let's point out one.
Well, it's a close game here, Joe. It's a close game. It's the final match of the night. Clearly past my bedtime, but a string of kills coming in for FaZe Clan. 5 in a row for Attach, 3 in a row for Zuma, as they're starting to light it up. It was a 72-72 tie. FaZe now looking for whatever separation they can find, doing a fantastic job at lookout posts as we'll get into our next set of rotations. Keep eyes on Attach here as he's working on these streaks.
Yeah, Attach playing so well. Really, everybody besides Replays is playing well on FaZe. Replays sitting at 6-12, but we know he's a guy. He can turn it around. Attach now not able to get those streaks as Decimate was able to find him. Decimate on a 4 spree. He's at 11-9. And EnVy, while you did have a very slow start from Classic, you know, they're right back in this. They're only down 9 points. Hook, he has a glide bomb as well. He's at 15-11. Again, this guy has been so good ever since that team change went down, where Slasher and Temp left.
He's comfortable.
Stepped it back. Yeah,
comfortable. He's playing with confidence.
That confidence, yep.
It was 72-72, then we saw a 92-92 scoreline. These teams keep going back and forth, lead change after lead change. No one really finding any kind of significant opening. Maybe the streaks we've seen earned from either side could be a difference maker. Hook, you see, has the glide bomb. Sorry, Attach actually dropped just short of that, so he's not going to get him. Just the 1 streak really to work with on EnVy. Look at the spawns right now, though, for Team EnVyUs. They're getting set up. You see the boys in blue trying to lock it down. Hook just gets ripped out of the window.
Wow.
Hook's probably like, okay, well, guys, I'm sorry. My bad. I did not expect that to happen. He backed down from that, like, instantly, too. The first bullet comes in, he's out of there. Gets wall bang, but Hook gets the kill. Hook then brings in the streak as well. Look at the spawn now coming in from Priesta as he's going to have to fight across field. EnVy doing a great job holding on thus far. And that's where the streaks can really be helpful, especially when you get picked like that when they're starting to come in.
Yeah, it just delays the push, right? Makes it a 4 versus 3 in your favor. I liked what Decimate did as well. He flanks around the front of that winery building and gets behind a couple. Was able to find one, but in the meantime, the players from FaZe were able to go through the back. One player one-on-one versus one on winery. What does that do? That gives FaZe wine control. And look at Zuma going on a bit of a Zuma flank as he's able to find another kill. 17 seconds left. On the other side of the map, you do have Priesta. You have Attach here as well. So FaZe trying to do a good job of getting that scrap time, but also rotating. Attach now, the only player alive for FaZe on this side of the map, just trying to do his best to stay alive, to just be a nuisance here against EnVy.
You saw Hook try to do this for EnVy the first time through. What can Attach do? He's just playing it safe, looking to take a one-on-one that he's favored in and waiting for his teammates to push up the front. His teammates haven't found an opening, and that's Hook the Nuke making the plays. Hook's made to the back. He might actually be able to find a third, but he's just dancing with Attach, just backing him up, shoulder peeking him, waiting for the help to come in. Attach just gets swarmed. Hook just made some plays there, buddy.
That's the worst spot to be in if you're Attached, because it's kind of like, hey, I don't want to help you guys because if I lose a one-on-one, we won't get spawns, but basically, you're just hoping that your teammates find some kills. They weren't able to do so. He gets left out to dry. Replays did find a kill. Attach found a couple as well. So now the pressure's here from FaZe. But Chino, the man who lives in the hard point, staying alive right now as EnVy have that 12-point lead.
But that sequence just stood out so much for me from Hook. You know, we talked about him back in maybe the advanced movement games with how difficult a player he was to kill. He always tries to play from advantage. He will toy with people. You're seeing that, man, over this past month.
Yeah,
just
I
phenomenal
think very
position.
Similar to Kenny. He's a guy, if you didn't have the sort of scoreboard, if you just were watching his point of view, he has a very unique play style, a very unique movement as well. His centering is basically perfect. That's why he wins so many of these gunfights. He's sitting at 26 and 17 on a 3-spree right now as EnVy takes a 30-point lead as we head out on over towards that lookout post. He's in a great position, able to find 2 more. Not able to get streaks, though.
Doesn't get the streaks, but delays the reinforcements, trying to apply pressure to lookout post. EnVyUs need to get somebody in the hard point. They're now going to be able to do it. Hook spawns out the opposite side. He's able to lock that down. Priesta may have found the opening here for FaZe to break into this hard point, but there's only about 20 or so seconds left. You have to start thinking about next. Decimate's already in the next hard point, kind of peeking in through the top red window, trying to lay some fire in here on the pressure, and he will be set up. A nice one-on-one. This is big because he's got 400 points towards. Make it 500, plus he's in the next hard point. This could be a crucial moment here for EnVy. They might be able to close out the game. He wins another one. He's about to get streaks in the second.
Yeah, and remember when we talked about very early on, I believe Zuma was sitting at 9 and 4. He got streaks. Right now, 17 and 18. He has slowed down. This was one of the key factors looking at Anaheim. He did not have the best event. He was consistently FaZe's best player.
Well, yeah, the big thing, like, do you need, on this type of map, like a 3-sub map, do you need your AR to dominate? Not necessarily. I mean, Replays is floating around double negative throughout it, but it's the fact that the subs, just look at what Decimate and Hook combined are doing, man. Like, it's not only is it a slow game from Zuma, but the fact that you're just getting crushed from the front line of EnVy.
Yeah, Decimate, he was able to get those full streaks as that fighter pilot, but I mean, EnVy, they put the artillery down towards that front cube. And they may wrap this game one up right here. Decimate's going to call in the fighter pilot, try to finish it here. Just 7 seconds. He's able to find one, finds a second as well. Priesta, the last guy alive. He gets taken down as well. And Team EnVyUs able to take map 1.
An 11 streak from Decimate. Smile on his face as they control the final moments of game 1. And I think that's what people were excited for at moments when watching this EnVy team. Obviously not in Anaheim, but you see glimpses where Decimate and Hook look like an absolute wrecking ball as a sub-duo. And when they're playing like that, I mean, Hook basically went off throughout, what, 80% of that game, and Decimate just locks it down late.
I mean, I remember talking to these guys Thursday at Anaheim. They were scrimming some of the best teams. I know they played EG. I believe they played Rise.
I heard they beat EG, like, what was it, like 7-1 map count or something? Like,
beating the heck out of teams Thursday before the event. Obviously, it's just practice, just warming up. But they were confident. They were very confident. They thought they had a chance at taking that. And, well, they got one of EnVyUs' worst placings ever at top 16. They lose to Tainted Minds 3-0 Saturday night.
They weren't the only people that fell victim to that. Echo Fox in that too. And we just watched Echo Fox take Red Reserve and EG out. So
I have no idea what happened that night.
Tainted Minds, they were, I don't know what form they found, but they ended up leading to some embarrassing results for some North American teams you expected more from. Mainly, I'm talking about Echo Fox and Envy, but that's just, man, that is any esport, any sport. Like, sometimes you just run into a team that's hot. It's just, it's got to be frustrating, and maybe a little bit too with, you know, maybe those teams kind of underestimating Tainted Minds. I mean, it's fair to do. They're 0-7 in the league. You don't expect them to make a run, and then they get hot.
No, definitely so. But I believe Jess caught up with Chino before the match. Jess, what did Chino have to say?
Thanks, Joe. That's right. I did catch up with Chino, and you know what? He didn't seem that confident before this match, which is very surprising considering how they just played. However, he did say that, you know, we're expecting to play well, and we are trying our hardest, basically. So, anyway, back over to you guys.
Well, let's see what Chino and company are able to do. Big series when you're bouncing back from a disappointing result. You just want to get in here.
I mean, that's it. Can you blame them for not being too confident right now? I mean, they just got top 16. Obviously, you know, it's stage 2. It's different. You're 4-3. You're in 4th place. You're in a solid position. But, again, we just talked about it. They had a very surprising result.
Certainly did. And this, I mean, is it must-win territory yet for FaZe? No, I mean, thankfully for them and Envy a little bit. When you look at those first 2 weeks, FaZe ended pretty strong in the sense that, you know, obviously.
What, they started 0-3.
Yeah, they started so slow. They ended really strong, at least in the final week. They start to bring it back. You just got to keep that going a little bit off the top 6, finish at Anaheim as well. So hopefully we'll be hopping into the search and destroy here momentarily.
I'll tell you what, I believe the desk was talking about if they heard FaZe Ben say something along the lines of hardpoint. We switched something up in hardpoint. I don't know what it was because I didn't see anything different. You obviously saw that replays and attach. We're both running those ARs, but I mean, Envy able to take game 1. We have Valkyrie Search and Destroy up next, Flag Tower CTF after that, London Docks Hardpoint. Then if we get there, game 5, St. Marie Dumont Search and Destroy.
So what do we have? We've had a 3-0, 3-1, 5-game series.
Yeah. Why? What are you thinking about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of where I feel like this series is going. I don't think it's got a 3-0 written all over it, but
I don't think so.
Envy, dude, Envy. What was their series? What are they? I'm trying to think what they closed out week 1, because remember they had 2 really impressive victories to close out week 1.
Well, even the start of the stage, I believe they beat FaZe. I believe this.
That's the 3-0 that started it all.
Yeah.
Well, started the what was for FaZe, that is.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, Envy is a team. I believe even in stage 1, it's when FaZe lost the first match. It was against Envy, so it just seems like maybe during the regular season, Envy has FaZe's number.
Yeah, regardless of the roster, apparently. And, you know, I mentioned earlier when talking with Rated and Red, you know, there's a couple teams that make, when you look at them on paper, like, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you look at a team like Rise Nation, they seem like the perfect squad. You look at a team like Red, and they seem to have all the pieces, right? This is another team where we talked about it on Hot Mic, and Rated was just like, he talked about TK and then Envy. He's like, they just seem like weird squads to me. Like, they're just a little bit odd to me on paper. But you know they have the skill to do it.
They do.
When I
mean, we see it at times. Obviously, though, these teams fighting, yes, stage 2 playoffs, that big papa in a month, but it's all about CWL champs. Make sure you get your tickets.
I can't wait. Buy tickets right now.
MLG.com/CWL.
I'll take you to Denny's.
I don't think you want to go to Denny's.
Oh, no.
Can you take him somewhere nicer?
That's in. Shout out to Jess right now, by the way, guys, if you're watching. She is really not feeling well. I thought she was going to vomit in the green room earlier, and she has been a trooper throughout the course of the day. Just get home, start feeling better, get hydrated, take some Tylenol. We all love you. We support our own here.
And Envy, a very quick start. They're able to get inside that A site preset just like that, left in a 1 versus 3. Make it a 1 versus 2, but there's the trades. And this is a map that we know Envy likes to play. They have their go-to strats. We'll have to see if they switched it up at all. You know, typically they have a couple of guys run that mountain sort of, you know, mountain hunker class. They throw a couple smokes on the map, try to be sneaky.
Let's see what happens on the other side of things. I feel like Decimate's seated like 4 feet above Classics.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just way taller. Or
it's the
I
the
saw that
where
as
their
well.
seats are. Like, it looks like he's so much higher. It's probably just the angle of the camera. Okay. Offense now to FaZe. Let's take a look at what they're trying to do here. You see the number 5, Priest is going to be lurking. 3-man hit towards that B site. Attach going to be leading the troops.
Envy's read this well, though. There is 2 players by that B site, but
wow.
Attach is able to find a kill, and that was a 7-second round.
All right, so we've seen aggressive hits towards B, but usually you lose some bodies in that type of aggression. They just smoke them. Was that a failed setup from Envy?
It just seemed like both teams were so spread out, and FaZe won all the 1v1 gunfights. Like everywhere around the map, there was no real team. Like,
and it seemed like there was there weren't like any nades in to delay that push at all towards
No.
me, were they? They were us out. Like, it didn't feel like there were any stun checks, any nades to maybe slow them down as they pushed out of school. Like, they just flew on in.
yeah, he is a good head above Classic.
It might not just be the camera angle.
That's what it is.
It's just no. It's
Classic. It's a midget.
It's fantastic posture there out of Decimate.
I think that's what it is.
Opening first blood, gonna go to replays here. Priesta follows it up, so now Classic and Decimate quickly in trouble. They just got smoked in the previous round, and FaZe looking to close this out. There's information on to Decimate. Classic doing what he can to keep Envy in this round. You've got nearly a minute to work with here. You have bomb in your hands.
Yeah, and
Still winnable.
Zuma did spot the one player cross into that storage bunker, so you could see Attach is in a position so that player can't sort of late flank through B. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Decimate versus Attach. Attach is set up, though. He gets a couple of shots, backs him down. So just 35 seconds now for Envy to work with in this 2 versus 3.
Decimate tries to run through, but Zuma gets a great timing there as he pushes out and spots him. Classic next up. Zuma should be flanking him in a matter of seconds. The pre-fire's there, though, and Classic able to win it. There's 2 guys that got him lined up, though. He's just stuck mid-street there at the tank. Valiant effort from Envy in a 2v4, but too tall in order.
Very quick rounds. You know, 3 rounds in a row. Envy, they dominated round 1, and then FaZe back-to-back, get the early numbers, close them out. See now, what can FaZe do on attack? How will Envy switch up their defense? Because we saw the last time FaZe was on offense, they hit B a couple of times. A couple players hit through that middle. They're all able to win their 1v1s.
See what they do here. Definitely a little bit different. 2-2 split this time. Not going to be nearly as much pressure towards B. Attach with bomb. Wants to fly right on in. Hook has this pre-aimed. See Chino's POV as well. Attach in for a world of hurt if he pushes in, but his replay's fine to pick. It's going to move things out, but Chino holds his spot and is able to take the gunfight. Back and forth we go. It ends with FaZe Clan in a 3v2 advantage.
Zuma got through, though. Zuma got through. Yeah, Zuma found that opening on the Chino. Hits through middle once again. Zuma off to a very quick start here at 5 and 2.
The big thing, though, is Priesta's got 3 in a row and the bomb plant here. So quietly working towards some streaks. He does have Mountain. He might be able to make play.
The fun one.
You got an AR to work with as well. Maybe to pick somebody off the mid box. But look at this. They just kind of spread out. Zuma gets a bit of information. They basically get to both.
But that
both
was those 2 got the kill, though, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think it was.
So he's going to be
110 off, I think.
Yeah.
I love this, though. They spread out. They know where he is. They get to both, like, basically those side box headies where they kind of have to go through those power positions to get into ventilation room. You know, sometimes you talk about really want to stick together in a 2v1. There, though, kind of getting that bit of crossfire works out for him.
See now, I mean, Envy had a very convincing round 1 win, but after that, it's been FaZe 3 in a row. And it looks like Envy, they're going to have a free A bomb site. And, well, who did we see this from a lot at Anaheim? It was Rise. They would play the 4v4 retake. They were A-okay with that. And it always came through that first blood. When we talk about retake situations, it was those 4v3s that typically came out on top.
But you had Slasher. Slasher had like 4 picks from this position in a row. Like, who's going to be that person that finds the opening kill? And this type of scenario in the 4-on-4 retake, that first blood is so big if you're trying to retake. It's replace. So it's the AR that's able to get the cross, able to find the kill. Now the collapse is going to come on through. Priesta, gunfight, he likely should have won. It does get traded suddenly at 2v2. Zuma gets caught sprinting. And Replays, who opened it up, is also going to have to shut things down if they're able to win this round, but time is dwindling.
I think if you're FaZe, after you get that first blood, instead of fighting sort of those outer guys, I think you just try to get inside. I think you try to almost like plant the bomb, but instead defuse it, right? Sort of cover all the doors. Make Envy have to come out of their spots instead. It felt like FaZe took all the outer gunfights. You saw Zuma, you know, he runs into Hook. Saw, you know, another player try to flank through that office side. And, well, Envy were able to come out on top.
So maybe just play it a little bit smarter after you get that first pick.
I think you just go towards the bomb. You know, you have the 4 versus 3, take it to them. Make them, you know, check it. They have to.
A huge round, though, for Envy, as it was 3 in a row for FaZe Clan. FaZe mixing up the push yet again. We saw a strong arm towards B. First blood though to Classic. So
yeah, nice team names. They're able to get replays on that staircase. And you can see, I mean, just look at the way that EnVy's playing this. Very similar to a retake situation, but the bomb's not down. And they found that first blood. Just like that, it's a 1 versus 4 for Priesta. So when it was 3-1, when FaZe won 3 in a row, it's looking like FaZe is able to answer back and tie this up 3-3.
They brought it right back.
Yep.
Priesta almost lining up a couple
unless
of
they throw it all away.
Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, man, he read that so well. Still reads it. Gets a couple shots in. He wants to push it with a pistol. Decimate's going to pre-fire on his end as well. Great job from Decimate, at least getting some shots in, backing him down, and making sure he can't force the narrative. But there isn't a ton of time. 30 seconds here. Decimate continues to dance with death. He's so weak. Priest is going to go. Is the help here? The flank is on, and Decimate survives long enough for the help to come in. But God, did Priest to make that interesting.
What was it? The first half of Division A or B. You remember when we saw like all those ridiculous clutches in 1 week? I don't know.
Oh yeah, like what players there were? No, neither do I.
But it was a lot on this map. We saw a bunch of 1v3s, a bunch of 1v4s.
I feel like Hook had a couple. I just can't remember if it was. Honestly, like the divisions and the open tournaments start to mix together in my head so much when you talk about specific plays.
They mix together after a day.
Yeah. All right. EnVy back to offense. They want to get quickly into B. Nades are going to get in. Replays is smoked off. Fantastic stuff there. He's trying to find an angle, maybe spray on through. But that's going to allow sight control now for EnVy.
Yeah, but all of FaZe is here. This is going to be very tough. If there's a couple of nades on the side of FaZe still, you can get that bomb planter or that first blood. Nice shots out of Priesta on Chino. Bomb still being planted. It goes down. But now you have Classic in such a tough spot. Yeah, he's stuck behind that site. Now a 2 versus 4. Decimate and Hook, can they clutch this up? It's going to be so difficult to do. It's going to take a couple magical plays. We'll see if they have it. Hook now able to find one. Can he find the second? He does. He's able to spot the third into Priesta. Oh, but Priesta able to rip him off, and there we go. FaZe, they get one back.
Wow, yeah.
Scary.
He had a chance there, man, to make a play, but obviously that final gunfight he dropped, and he only really sees the tip of the noggin. Not able to take it, and now FaZe will kind of stabilize as EnVy started to come roaring back. But like you said, the smoke goes in, attach rotates quickly. You have the 2 ARs lined up on the cross, and, well, they're both able to take those first gunfights.
I don't mind that from EnVy, switching it up a little bit, but I'd like them to wait, 5-10 seconds, allow FaZe to sort of spread out throughout the map. I felt like the smokes went down so quick that the rotations were so quick out of FaZe, they were able to get back towards that B bomb site.
What do we see from Rise on this particular map on offense? They were so slow, so patient.
Yeah, make him spread out.
Put all the pressure on the defense to make the play.
And we've seen this a couple of times now from EnVy, where they have been 2 to 3 stacking that B site. Priesta able to find Hook. It's a big kill.
He's having a massive game. 11-3 right now. Another 4 streak to his name. Building towards streaks yet again.
Yeah, he's peeking on in here. He's going to find that A site's open. And, well, he's going to start planning. So a 4 versus 3. It's going to be very difficult for EnVy to retake it.
And he's going to get a glide bomb.
And once again, you just have EnVy so focused on B.
Wow, Decimate almost wins that gunfight, but it helps to have a pre-aimed AR looking at that cross. Attach takes it. Priesta wants more streaks. Not able to get him. He will drop with just the glide bomb, but unless Chino can somehow get 3 kills in the next 20 seconds, that might have been the toughest gunfight he's going to have to take. But unfortunately, he's so weak, he gets cleaned up almost immediately, and now FaZe a round away from closing out Game 2 and tying up the series at 1 apiece, and they also have a glide bomb to work with.
I'm trying to think. I think at Anaheim, I think both of these teams, they've very much struggled in hardpoint. It was one of their weaker game modes. So,
well, on Hot Mic we talked about that stat. When you get outslayed in hardpoint, how are you able to win, and how many can you win? And when we looked at the European teams, they did really well. The team that really stuck out as being very poor at that was FaZe. FaZe was 1-7 in hardpoint when getting outslayed. So basically, if they didn't slay people off the map, they weren't winning hardpoint. And that's been a thing for them. I mean, thinking even back over the past 3 years, like even when they outslay, they struggle to win sometimes. So they have to find the kills. They rely so much on winning gunfights, so much on skill. It's tough when they don't really just outslay the team.
They make it a lot more difficult for themselves.
Certainly.
Well, Hook was able to find the first blood on Azuma, but Replay's able to get one on a Chino. So now a 3 versus 3. And Envy trying to work this elbow. Priest is going to back on up. Has help from Attach. He'll pick up that cross. Does spot Classic going in. Also going to spot Hook as well. But Hook, I think, got some vision on him. Priest, though, 13 and 4, able to find another kill. The last 2 Envy players in a very difficult spot. Attach pops on up. Able to clean up both those players. So FaZe, they answer back after a game 1 win for Envy to tie the series up 1-1.
All tied up. Nice performance there. Attach, you see, making the plays at the end, but Priesta had a phenomenal map. A ton of first bloods. He was making the plays with the bomb as well from the objective standpoint. He was winning his gunfights and really put FaZe on his back throughout a lot of the opening rounds of that game. Envy made it close for a while, but well, FaZe wins on what? 3 in a row early, 3 in a row late, right?
Yep.
Get there 6?
I don't know if Envy had to go back to the drawing board, but the past couple of Valkyrie Search and Destroys I've watched for them have just not been good. Obviously, it was one of their very early go-tos. They got a couple of map wins. Maybe that helped their confidence, but from what we've seen lately, maybe they have to switch that up.
Well, a lot of times when you succeed early in something, people watch your gameplay, they start to copy what you do or just adapt your strategies to counter them or even do them better. Maybe something Envy's struggling from right now, but this best of 5 is long from over. 1-1, Envy versus FaZe. It's the CTF coming up next. Whoever takes this will be in control of the series. And remember, Envy's sitting in the top 4 right now. FaZe fighting to get into that top 4 for a playoff spot. We'll be right back after this quick break. friends, welcome back. FaZe, Envy, final match of the night, tied up at 1 apiece. We're headed to CTF. And again, it's a big one. Just fighting for top 4, fighting for that playoff spot. Both teams, you know, maybe having Anaheim results they wish could be a little bit better. Didn't get the big share of that $200,000 prize pool, but there is still a ton of cash on the line. Let's get right into this flag tower, though, Joe.
Yep, Envy able to take that game 1 hard point, but FaZe respond with a very nice and controlled Valkyrie search and destroy. A great game out of Priest, so that's why we started on board with him. But Hook, Decimate, and Chino all find kills, and just like that, FaZe, all 4 go down as, well, everybody from Envy won their 1 versus 1.
Wow.
And now FaZe are in a very tough spot. The only player up right now, it's looking like a Tatch. Azuma comes off spawn, but I think he spawned in the lobby. It was a very weird spawn right there out of Zuma.
Sometimes if you have enough presence there, like all 4 players like that, we've seen it. It's definitely a weird spawn. Lobby or like out towards mid, but we've seen that happen before. Can they get there in time to shut anything down here? The flag's starting to come on through. Replay's last man up. And there you go. So it'll be one thing to keep an eye on is what kind of AR presence you have on the side of FaZe, just with seeing Replay's having a sub in hand.
Yeah, so Envy able to get that first one on the board. Let's go into Astro Gaming listening with Team EnVyUs.
Come on.
Okay, mid, top there, top gun.
Back left flag.
Back
their flag, one shot, and then bottom their mid.
Play your streaks if you have to.
Back their flag.
Yeah, just
Did you
stay
run
alive
left?
right here.
Okay,
You ran out.
okay, I didn't know.
You're gonna be swinging out streaks.
I'm gonna pick up left. Somebody pick up our mid.
Alright,
Nice.
good job.
I got Jen, could wrap back.
You
I'm
want
gonna
me to
try to
pick
push
up
him
red?
fast.
Alright.
I'm trying to push the guy, Jen. I'm trying to
He's
push
in our mid, in the corner. He's
Stay alive,
just
Nick.
sitting in our
Come on,
mid,
we got
sitting
the
in our mid.
Laying down back
Mid
alright.
Jens, I'm in Jens right now. You see him?
Laying down back
I
alright.
think he's out there middle somewhere.
Just keep playing that.
He's there, top gun attached.
One's middle. One's out
Attached
middle.
red. Zuma's on my right, one shot. Nice, let's go.
Three,
Let's get Reap. He's out spawn, I think. Might be bottom gun on you.
Pull Jens on me.
Yeah, come on, Jens.
It's pulling Jens. I think Rip's gonna be behind him. Watch his back color.
I need it behind you.
I spawn Jens, I'm backing up.
He could be on our flag, high key.
Yeah, I'm backing up.
It's replays, he camps corners, bro.
He's on our peg, he's pulling gun.
One gun.
You need God. You need God.
Bottom gun. Nice.
Yep, I can
One
get
more,
Re, I
one
can
more,
get Re, I got
One more
Re.
mid.
Pre-minute.
On wood, one on me.
Go,
I'm
Oscar,
helping you, Nick. I'm
Oscar,
helping you. I'm needing outskirts. I'm needing outskirts.
We put on the right. We put
We're
right
going
on
to find this.
Two more there. Two more there. Top gun, last guy, one shot. He's left corner, top gun. On your left, Kyler. He might have gone to the right.
Could've ran out mid.
Top gun still.
Top gun was Tommy.
No, it was attached.
attached?
Priest is our front mid.
Alright,
Priest is
top
our
gun.
front mid.
I'm holding for
Top
left.
Top gun still.
I have far left.
Might have jumped out. Dead. Mini dead.
Alright, that was
Nice
him.
one.
Priest was our front mid.
Our bottom mid, actually stunned. Close up
Bottom
here.
right now.
Far left dead.
Close up corner. One shot, Reap, one shot on bottom mid.
Come on.
He's right side corner, bottom mid.
Mid dead.
Nice,
All
good
dead,
job.
all dead.
All
Push. Last guy attached. I'm holding mid.
Going underground.
Keep it up, Nick, you're fucking
Yeah,
frying.
I'll push him left. No, he's
already there.
left box three. Left box three. He's
he
our
pushing?
side. Yeah, our side boxes.
I'm proving our
Top there window,
outskirts.
top there window. Top there window, one shot.
Out there, gun dead.
I got no stun hidden, Jen.
Help you,
there window was
Clarence.
weak.
I'll go Oscar.
Alright. I'm pushing Jen.
Bottom mid. Dead.
Data me.
That was him.
No, they're bottom mid.
I'm helping you middle.
There was a guy there bottom mid.
Let's top gun.
Proving their bottom mid for you, Kyler.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm helping you, gun. Yo, it's behind you, mini. Oh.
What's his
Mini's
Jets?
still there.
Outside of their mid.
Okay, Jen and Mini.
Outside of their mid absolute. Back to flag.
Repose their mini. One's gonna play their mid.
You're full
Bottom
streaks.
mid.
We should trap him in and then he can.
Alright, Reap.
land him.
Reap, one shot,
Left,
mid gun.
Alright, one left.
Big
One's
gun?
left.
Bottom mid, mid gun.
Yeah,
I
right, pick him right,
need a
pick
big
him
gun.
right, pick him right.
Yeah. Could be past slow gun.
It was big, it was Reap.
He's dead.
Yeah, one's left boxes. Left boxes.
Last box,
Attached.
last shot. That's last guy.
Yeah.
Attach hurt.
That's
He's
all you
going
guys.
mid pillar, right side mid pillar.
Hey, yo. I'm playing their mini right now.
I don't see him.
He's at bottom mid now, Reap.
Mid fan. Our mid fan going our bottom mid. Our mid fan going our bottom mid. Attach.
Trying to help you next.
Stunned it.
Attach is our bottom mid, guys.
He knows I'm here. Big gun. Oh my god.
Nice.
Another one big gun. And jumping out.
Yo, two above
Zuma.
me.
Zuma's one shot.
Welcome back. It's a 2-0 edge here for Envy. Joe, there were some great moments in that listening.
Yeah, no, there definitely was. So there was obviously the first moment where they got that second flag cap. You heard Chino, replays. He likes to camp corners. Honestly, this was really a Chino highlight reel in terms of that listening. Very much a vocal leader, and then he gassed up his teammate in Classic. You love to hear that, giving him some motivation. Classic didn't have the best game 1 and 2. Trying to get him fired up, get him zoned in. So, again, I think just a great listening from Envy. The highlight to me, though, was absolutely Chino.
Certainly, and I don't think you can understate how important just kind of positive reinforcement or motivation can be, especially depending on the player, man. Gas him a little bit, get him going. You know, we were talking with Zero from Red Reserve. You know, Joe said he's one of the most confident, like confidence type players ever. When he's feeling confident, when he feels gas, it's just like he's a different player. He
Joe is?
No, Zero is.
Yep.
And I mean, he's not the only one, man. You feel confident, you feel gas, you feel like you're gonna win every gunfight. Things sometimes go very, very well, but there is some pressure here from FaZe in the closing moments of this round number 1. Last guy up is going to be Zuma. Doesn't have a lot of time to work with. He's being pressured from both sides, and as he's cleaned up, halftime will be a 2-0 edge for EnVy.
And we talked about the hard point. When they get outslayed, they're 1-7. And right here throughout this first half, EnVy is dominating FaZe Clan in the slaying category, which is always surprising, because I think when you look top to bottom, this FaZe Clan roster, that is one thing they should excel in. Their talent is very high. I'm one of the most talented rosters that we have.
But I do think, and you might agree, like I think this particular Call of Duty, at least compared to the last 3 years, it is definitely harder for maybe gun skill to shine through. Absolutely. It's based on the speed of the game, the positioning of the game.
Yeah, but Hook's 14-7, so I disagree with you.
That's very true. Hey, it still helps to shoot straight.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, but maybe not as easy to kind of just take over a game at times behind just the gun skill. You gotta use the positioning as well. And well, you saw a very good opening to the first half from EnVy. This time it's FaZe that have a chance to apply pressure, and they need an early score. Both players stunned to the back. This is easy pickings for Zuma. This is going to be a pull. It's going to be on Decimate to maybe disrupt. They've got it lined up with the AR of Attach. And the only person really with a presence on the map from EnVy is going to be Hook.
Yeah, but I don't, you know, they have the fighter pilot, and if you want anyone in that position, it's going to be Hook. Let's see what they can find. He's going to call out replays. That player's going to run right at Hook, so now Hook's going to go. But Hook's still the only player up here. He gets taken down by Priesta. Great job, great patience by FaZe to wait that one out. And you look at this scoreboard. Replays, he was on a 1 kill spree. You had like 10 kills in a row for FaZe.
And this is like a perfect start. You get the score, you get a streak out of EnVy, and now you have a chance for streaks on the side of Zuma. If they can get the streaks, this is literally like your perfect opening to the game. Considering at least how that, well, opening the second half, considering how that first half went. You really want Zuma to be able to pick these up. He's so close to getting streaks.
You know how hard it is for Zuma to stay still.
Right.
So this is a lot of
Put your controller down, Tommy.
Yeah. There we go. Oh. But he gets taken out. Decimate, he finds 2 kills. He's on a 3 spree right now, and the EnVy push is coming through. Priesta, the last guy alive, is able to find the first one. Buys enough time for those spawns to come in. Here comes the help. Priesta, though, nice shots on the classic, but Hook gets through. But there is a player in the middle. None other than Zuma. Zuma able to find the first. He just has to buy time. He jumps at him, able to win it as well. Gets the return. Great play by Zuma. See, he's able to get that one, and just like that, it's a counter play for FaZe.
And that's time where, like, I love that aggression. Like, Hook knows his teammate just dropped, and he's probably thinking, I'm going to peek here, see his position, maybe just kind of take him with the cover of this ramp. Zuma just soars at him. It seems like he completely caught him off guard. Now, the counter, like you mentioned, yes, replays is 7:15, but he's got the PPSH in hand. He has a flag in hand. Hook, once again, it's going to be Hook working together with a streak.
And
Hook drops.
The flag's gone. Yeah, Hook goes down. Classic. Only able to find one. Now Decimate here at the sandbags. He is down. Artillery's called in as well. That I don't agree with. After the glide bomb and Decimate goes down, there's no reason to call that in.
You get 2 scores for FaZe to tie the game through 3 streaks from EnVy. If you're EnVy, can you at least counter here? But now Replay's getting close to streaks. He's 8-15. It might get some streaks, but no, it's classic around the back. Priesta, he doesn't finish the kill though. Priesta doesn't finish the kill. Will that grenade get it over the top? It might.
Oh, doesn't get Decimate. Decimate gets away. Well, there's a counter cap for EnVy. Gonna give them that 3-2 lead.
And even if he got that kill, is there still a chance the next player up grabbed it? Yeah, but you got a lot better chance of stopping that, that's for sure. I think that's one of those scenarios where he thought he had the kill, tried to snap to the second player.
One more bullet was left, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he did snap onto the second player as well. So now we'll see, with 1 minute and 45 seconds left, what can FaZe do? They need one flag to send us into overtime replays. He was the only player pushed up. Now it's on to Attach. And if you're attached in this position, you just want to stay alive. Slow down the EnVy push. And there we go, able to do so as he finds 2 kills. Now he's waiting for his teammate to spot the third as well, but he's going to back on down.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he could have got out the window there and maybe stayed up, because the push, right as he drops, the reinforcements get here.
Yeah, but look at Priesta. You can see he's highlighted on the minimap. He gets around number 2. That was Decimate. Decimate's pushed up on that side, towards that box side. And Decimate's going to say, hey, left side of the map is clear right now. And Now it's replays. And Priesta, now it's on Priesta.
They're not going to be ready for Priesta, though. That's the player.
I just wait, though. I wait. I wouldn't even pull this. Yep, great play by Priesta. Now you allow your teammates. If they get a kill or two, he's going to go. So this could be the game here for FaZe. Can they find those kills? But you can see Chino back down up. He's making the discipline play, as well as Hook. Hook's backing up with him as well. There's 2 kills. Here we go. All on the Priesta. But he knows the pressure's here. Great job by EnVyUs. Great communication once again.
Absolutely. Chino gets back. You know, the call-outs come in. One player is missing, and they're able to deal with it. You don't have the discipline there. That's likely a tying score. It still could come in, though. Decimate and Chino trying to go big at home. You got a 2-on-2 for a moment. Another player spawns in for Envy. Envy just have to have one last defensive stand here. And they're good to take the CTF. It's falling apart, though. It's falling apart.
The good thing is that FaZe is staggered. Priest is the only player over here. Finally, the reinforcements come in for FaZe, but the spawns are in. Decimate spawns in the back. The flag is out, though, so we will go into extra time if we get there. It all comes down to this. Attach gets taken down, and yep, there we go. Decimate, he's going to wait. Oh, I thought he was going to wait for that. Chino finds Zuma. Envy with a 3-2 flag victory over FaZe. Whew, that was close.
FaZe had their chances. You know, they're down 2-0 from the first half. They make the plays early in the second half. They survive, you know, kind of a flurry of streaks on both of their flag scores, but they're able to get it in, tie up the game. But Envy, they show some resiliency there. You know, you let the lead slip away, but you're able to close it out, and you deal with a couple nice pushes from FaZe at the end of that game.
Yeah, it was a great counter cap, right? Obviously, we talked about all the streaks that they burned to get themselves in that position, but that slowed FaZe down a little bit, kind of got them trapped in their base. Obviously, Replays was trying to stay alive, trying to play for streaks. That allowed Envy to push on up. And, well, they were able to get that third flag away. I mean, Priesta was 1 bullet away. I mean, literally 1 bullet away from stopping that flag, but sometimes that's all it is.
Yeah, right. Well, now all the respawns going the way of Envy.
Surprising.
We'll see if they can close it here in a respawn in the hard point. If we go game 5, I mean, that's anybody's game. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. I feel like Envy's probably going to close it out here.
I mean, they've looked like it. It's really just been slow starts for FaZe. That has really been the problem. Even looking at that first half, the slaying just wasn't there. If that's a 1-0 half instead of a 2-0 half, whatever it is, if there's a little bit of a difference there, that gives FaZe an opportunity.
And can we actually take a look at the overall best of 5 if we have it? What is map 4? Because that's my curious. Because you know, if you talk about
London Docks.
Okay, so it's a little bit different. At least, well, in the recent change, the Metal Post Seattle. But I mean, the big thing that stood out, at least in the St. Marie 3 sub map, and you saw Hook and Decimate absolutely dominated. Right? They had the edge in the slaying battle from the SMG role completely. Could be a different story here on Docks. It may be the story of the ARs more, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I think obviously he gets a lot of critique. He's not playing the best of series in replays, right? Really, that main AR for FaZe hasn't had the best respawn throughout this.
He's been floating around double negative pretty much through the 2 respawns, yeah.
And we know that a lot of teams now, they run that double bar setup. So replays right here. If he can step it up in this game 4, you know they have a shot to, you know, take it to game 5.
So that kind of attach replays battle going up against Chino and Classic. Let's see what these guys.
I was like, where are you going with that one? They're not battling against each other. This is a big game. I think it's a huge game for FaZe. Just to put them at 4-4, put them back at 500. Obviously, they have to battle back. They started 0-3 in stage 2 in that first week. They didn't have the best week, but they bounced back. They go 3-1. Put them at, you know, 3-4.
I think they did what they needed to do to have a chance in these final 2 weeks, though. Like they slipped up in that second week in our kind of first half.
The problem is, though, is that Echo Fox gets 2 wins today. TK 1.
So you're sort of relying on, I mean, with the way Echo Fox at least look today, it's like you're almost relying on EG. Well, EGs might be too far ahead. So you're relying then on, well, this would be a big win because Envy's sitting in the 4th spot, right? So if they can get a win over Envy, that's big.
That's what I'm saying. If Envy win this, they're sitting at 5-3. TK.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like
FaZe, this series FaZe needs to win for sure.
Yeah, teams are getting, you know, 2-3 games away.
We'll have to wait and see. Like, I hope this doesn't happen just for the. You might be just relying on EG to fall apart again.
Or Echo Fox. Like, Echo Fox
1.
is the team to me that will beat number 1 and 2 seeds and lose to everybody else.
But what did you learn from EG today? I have no idea. They beat Epsilon, then they got smoked.
Yeah, they're still not in the best position.
And this is not the time, man. It just seems so reminiscent of stage 1.
Well, after, you know, a runner-up placing at Seattle, maybe that honeymoon period, that's when they peaked. And this is the time you want to peak, not 2 months ago. You want to peak right now.
It's true. It's true. But we still have, again, a lot of matches to go here to close out Division A. FaZe. Earn a bit of time here. A little bit of a split spawn coming in. The Priest is able to read as he picks up both kills. They continue to control water side of the map, hold those crosses from steps, and they milked not a lot of time, but they were able to get 11 seconds in this. There's 20 or so left, and 2 players rotating over and attaching Zuma to get set up for the next hard point.
Yeah, the big thing for FaZe is they do have main street control, but Decimate, he's towards that coal room, trying to just stay alive, wait for his teammates. Well, they get this scrap time, but you can see what FaZe is doing. They know this is where the next hard point is. The problem is I feel like they're a little bit too close now. We'll see where Zuma spawns. Yeah, Zuma spawns out. Replay is able to find one. Attached now. Where's he going to spawn? He spawns low crane. The one good thing for FaZe, if they can hold on off, is Zuma is basically on a pinch right now. This could be great timing for FaZe and Zuma. They just had to wait for him. Not able to get kills at all.
Oh, God, he has probably 2 easy ones there if his shot was not real shaky. And now because he misses, the whiffs come in, I believe, on Decimate. Now Decimate, due to the objective points and the 3 kills in a row, he might get streaks off the back of this. And that would be that'd be a painful moment. He had a really big opportunity to kind of disrupt everything they were doing there. He's now 1 kill off the glide bomb. And that's, God, it's almost going from bad to worse right now for that hard point for FaZe.
Yeah, EnVy, you know, they're going to be up about 50 points. Decimate trying to stay alive. As you said, so close to those streaks. Zuma shoulder peeking it. Knows that Decimate's in this area. Nade goes out. FaZe, they have a pretty good setup for this lower docks hill.
Just wait. Yeah, if you're Decimate right now, just wait. Bait Hook. Just bait the living hell out of Hook. There goes Hook. There's a trade. Thank you. He's waited for it. I love that. You know, sometimes it's tough. You're feeling yourself. You're hitting your shots. You want to take the gunfights, but you don't get that glide bomb unless you bait him. You would have hoped to get more, but still, it's at least 1 streak.
Good thing for FaZe, only a glide bomb, as you said, and right now this is a perfect lower docks warehouse hold. As EnVy hasn't even gotten in to contest it. Replay's heating up. He's at 7-5. Zuma, at one point he was 2-7. Now he's at 7-8. Make it 8-8. He's on a 4 spree. The guns of FaZe. Well, it seems like they have finally arrived in this match. This has been a perfect hold for them, and they're doing a wonderful job rotating towards this barrel building.
And remember, we mentioned a couple of times now, the inability for FaZe to win hard points when they get outslayed. 1-7 at Anaheim in that specific situation. So just kind of keep an eye on the top right. Just have that tally in your head on where FaZe is sitting. Because they make it very difficult on themselves when they aren't winning.
Yeah, big kills, though, from Chino and Decimate. Was able to lock down barrels. You know, it was looking like FaZe was going to be able to hold two hard points in a row, but EnVy able to break on in. Now, the story is how does FaZe get in here? You have Zuma going all the way around. That player in Cole, that's number 5. That's Priest. Just had to wait for him. Great job from him. And those players from EnVy spawn out. So this is a heads-up play now for FaZe. And Replays, he's playing for those streaks.
Yep, very, very close.
Decimate gets 2?
He's been dominating water side.
Decimate gets 3?
Decimate clears everybody. And now, he's also going to get Replays. So all 4. And he shuts down the streaks. You see the ×4 multi-kill. What a play from the youngster. That's special stuff.
That is just one of the plays that can happen if you're FaZe.
Well, not only like
you had a 4 versus 2 in barrel.
I was literally about to say, like, even if he does that, even if he world stars you, at least Replays gets the streaks. Because I thought he was going to take that gunfight. Okay, Decimate. Oh, he's just burning him right now. He's literally torching FaZe and all of their fans alive with his PPSH. This is why I was almost like impressed to see him wait to bait Hook, because when you're feeling like this sometimes, just hitting all your shots, you're like, go, go, go.
Yeah, he's hitting them all. He's not missing right now.
Wow.
And well, there is another clean break for EnVy.
Wow.
I mean, I thought FaZe was going to get that last 25 seconds at barrel building. That is a 50-point swing. Then the streaks that you talk about.
Holy hell.
What a moment from Decimate right there. The past 100 seconds he has had has been so important in this match.
Think about the end of the last hard point. He goes on 11 streak to close out the game. Yeah, it was Hook early and often, but he made the big plays late. This time, he's just taken over. 15 and 10, a 1-5 ratio for him. Still has the glide bomb. I mean, the only thing that's maybe good for FaZe is the fact that Decimate doesn't have more streaks to work with.
But FaZe, they are down 70 right now. Can they get back into this one? I mean, we talked about it pregame. Replays, he stepped it up. He's at 14 and 10, but where's the rest? You talked about it. When they get outslayed, they're not in games. And right now, EnVy is manhandling.
It's never been something they could do that I can think of in the entire time I've been casting FaZe.
Forever.
I've just never been able to think of them as a team that somehow wins when getting outslayed. Granted, that list is usually pretty short. That's not a recipe for success typically, but they've just never been on that list.
Well, one good thing you thought was going to be a good thing is a lot of kills went the way of FaZe, but they get naded off the hill. That was Chino. He finds a big couple of kills, disrupts that setup now. Classic and Hook break on in. There's Envy. They still have that 75-point lead. FaZe, it looks like they're going to give up these 20 seconds, focus on Main Street, but this is a lot of time to give up. That's going to be about a 100-point lead. But FaZe is being disciplined. They're saying, screw it, we're going for this.
This time a little bit different than the first time through. At least you've got somebody pushed up like all the way to top goal, but now the problem is the streaks are coming in, and you're able to tack on a couple of kills. That'll get you the opening that you need. And FaZe desperately need time. Now rotating into the hard point, but it's Hook with two nice ones. Attach the third.
The hard point's now opened up.
Jeez, man. This is exactly, you know, I kind of asked if the change in map would maybe change the fact that they'd be able to dominate. Obviously, St. Marie a little bit different than Docs here, but yeah, that's it's still been a big part of it, man. Hook or Decimate making plays, but to be fair, I mean, it's everybody right now.
I was just about to say, and secretly, sort of Chino is at 20 and 14 with a minute 7 in the hill. And remember, when we were hyping up Envy, it was after Seattle when their hard point was ridiculous. What was that, 11 and 1?
You know, but we were talking about it. I can't remember if it was, I think it was Rated on Hot Mic, and he was saying, like, you have to, at least on some maps, play a little bit of objective by committee for hardpoint. Like, you can't have a guy that constantly has 3.5 minutes in the hardpoint, which Chino has been that guy. It's funny, when you said a minute, I was almost like, what's that to Chino? This guy averages nearly 2.5.
The hardpoint is his home.
To see a minute from Hook, a minute from Decimate, that seems to be maybe more of a recipe for success, because obviously they found some struggles there recently. They've been kind of a one-trick pony when you're talking about who's in the objective.
Now, the big thing is, though, is FaZe was able to get a good amount of time here on Main Street. And remember, this lower docks warehouse, they locked this down so well. And it's looking like they're going to do it again. And if they get these 35 seconds, they will be right back in this game. So we'll have to talk about that rotation, or can Envy break on in? Decimate trying to get barrel building side. Hook finds a kill as well. Decimate finds 2. That was a huge break right there. Those 20 seconds, that's a 40-point swing.
Decimate's still winning gunfights in the back. He's still winning all the gunfights in the back. 4 in a row. He keeps going big in this transition. And this time, maybe even bigger than the first, in the sense that FaZe was getting back in the game. They were bringing it back. They're within a 40. Those 2 kills to the back of barrel set them up nicely here to rack up time.
Well, what do we see a lot of the times? Just, you don't see that discipline for players to realize the situation. All right, there's 30 seconds left. The most important thing right now is rotation to barrel building. You know, we've been able to lock this down. A lot of teams, they fight for the scrap time lower docks, and that hurts themselves because that team still has barrel building control. And we see those teams sort of win these 2 back-to-back. Priesta was able to find 2. You have Attach going all the way underground. FaZe now about 50 points out of it. He got back into it a little bit, but Envy able to lock this one down for,
and I love this.
30 seconds.
He gets to a safer position where he's not going to get picked up by nades inside the hard point. He wants to make sure he gets these streaks, and he's going to do that at the tail of 2 assists that come in. Now, last time he only got the glide bomb. Can he get a little bit more here?
Once again, though, FaZe are in a 3v2 situation to break that. Hook finds 3. He's on a 5 spree. If it's not Decimated Hook, these 2 are running over the FaZe players.
And just like game 1, you look at Priesta and Zuma. They have not been the presence that Decimate and Hook have been.
Well, I mean, Attach is 16 and 27.
There's the full streaks. 20 more points now needed, and Envy will close this one out 3-1.
This is not good for FaZe.
And you just wonder if Envy can play like this, specifically if Hook and Decimate can play at this type of pace, this type of rate, this type of efficiency, they are going to be a very hard team to beat in hardpoint.
Isn't that sort of the story of this division, though? It's
yeah,
like,
I guess that's true.
What if EG can step it up? What if Envy or FaZe, Echo Fox, like, all these teams are so close?
When it's this competitive, it's who's going to be hot. Literally, sometimes who's playing better on this specific day, this specific hour, if you have 2 matches a day.
I think if you count out Red Reserve, I think you look at Division B as sort of contenders for championships in Optic, Rise, LG, you know, throughout the weekend. Division A, it's a little bit different. Like, you know they can be contenders, but they're just not consistent enough. And
Team too big a
will
run.
one of those teams find that form?
Well, that is going to be our final match here of the day. Some crazy matches, a reverse sweep to kick it off. A fantastic day from Echo Fox, specifically a big win there from Envy to close it out. What EG get the 1-1 split. Epsilon struggles continue. So
TK wins over Splice.
yeah, TK is a big one. Splice desperately needed that victory too, and it doesn't really get them out of the hump, but it might. When you see wins from somebody like Envy, when you see win from TK, like Splice's loss hurts today. It really does.
Definitely so. But you know, every day at the end of the day, we do our Astro Gaming MVP speculation. And today, well, Echo Fox went 2-0, and it was partly due to this guy, Faceno. He stepped it up big time in Anaheim, and he's kept it rolling here in stage 2.
We were talking about him pretty much instantly when you saw him, switch to that main AR role. You wondered if the consistency you kind of saw from him specifically at Anaheim would continue here. Would he bring that same kind of takeover gameplay from the AR role, the patience you saw, the positioning you saw? So far, so good. He was making the plays.
Well, when I first heard it, it's kind of like, you have Aqua and Temp on the team. Like, obviously the slaying power is there for Echo Fox. So is that something you want to do? Like, just let him play sort of the objective that sort of support SMG, but it is looking like it has worked out great. And, I've talked to him a lot one-on-one, and it just comes down to a lot of the things in Hardpoint where they have struggled is just due to little decisions. And if he has that AR and he can set up properly and make the correct plays, right? A lot of the times what FaZe relies on replays to do, then this could be a championship caliber team.
Well, we're going to take a look momentarily here at the updated standings, kind of check it out, look through it, see what's shifted from today. I don't think there's anything too massive, at least when you talk about the top 4, it should be staying the same. It's really just Echo Fox getting a little bit closer to the hunt because TK and Envy should still be there. Nothing's going to change. EG far enough out in front where they were 5-2 that they're still going to be sitting pretty. So nothing too big in the mix other than I guess what stands out the most to me is really just Splice falling, Echo Fox coming up. Like, if the question was and FaZe, like the bubble teams, who's going to make a run that's not in the top 4? Is it going to be FaZe? Is it going to be Splice? Is it going to be Echo Fox? Echo Fox made a really good case today.
No, they definitely did. I mean, it was a huge day. Again, they played number 1 and number 2. But once again, this is a team that has given us a lot of hope. And then the next day has taken it away from us.
Dude,
so.
even at Anaheim.
Yeah, you're like Friday. You're like,
I didn't pick them for the first time to make plays. They're doing it. And then they forget they're playing Tainted Minds and get 3-0 smoked.
Well, they also lost Friday night to who'd they lose Friday night to? I don't know. There was some crazy tiebreakers. That was a couple of weeks ago. And I forgot already.
Oh, me too. No, Anaheim was crazy, though. I feel like that was actually one of the first times. Like, usually you talk about when the open tournament teams come in, open bracket teams come in, that there's like usually one pool that's interesting. That like felt like all 4 were like I guess outside of Conquest, even though there were some really like impressive series from them, it was really fun to watch them, and you got to see some fantastic moments out of players like Kismet and Phantoms. Every other like pool, like you really felt like, oh god, they steal a win here. Like this is gonna make a couple teams got blessed. Like Rise, we thought we were gonna be losers. Anaheim was awesome. Anaheim never fails to just be.
Well, it's the same way. Rise at Birmingham. That's what happened. There was a crazy tiebreaker. They needed Enigma 6 to beat TK, and that's what happened when TK were up like 5-3.
Yep.
Again, TK beat Rise Friday 3-0. If Rise goes in the losers bracket, who knows what happens? Instead, they get blessed.
What do you mean? We know what happens. It happened to Seattle.
I mean,
it's cruise on through the
Rise did win, or Red did win one series. That's all they would have needed.
That's true. Well, no, talking to the guys on Hot Mic for Red, they basically all thought they won that game. They went to the tie. They win that. They're winning the entire thing. If they went to the finals in the winners bracket, they're winning. There's no doubt in their minds. Which I get it. I mean, they look good in that final. It's just taking 6 maps off a team that only dropped 6 all weekend.
It's tough taking 3 off of them.
Yeah, tough taking 3, much less 6, but still was an incredible grand final. I was actually worried for that grand final we were going into it, just knowing how tall an order it was for Red. I actually went into it thinking it was going to be maybe a little bit disappointing, but Red, they played them so tough. And now we will take a look at the updated standings. You see how close the map win percentage is from these guys. You see how close the record is from everybody.
It's 5 of them, or three teams with 5 wins, 2 teams with 6, 2 with 3. Then there's Epsilon. But the big thing is for FaZe and Splice, they didn't win today, so now they're 2 games back.
FaZe,
they are 2 games back.
Stage 1 playoffs.
They're 2
this
games
roster,
back. Yep.
they might not be at stage 2 playoffs.
They need some help. Someone needs to bomb out. I mean, you're obviously looking at EG, but even EG is 3 games. They still have 3 games a 3-game safety net.
And that's what's so scary. Like, there doesn't seem to be a team with a lot of bomb out potential. The only reason we target EG is because of how poor they were at Anaheim and because of the fact that they kind of did it in stage 1. So maybe a little bit of history there, but none of these teams you think, like, they're not like the most consistent in the world, but you don't imagine them losing 4 or 5 games in a row.
Right. I was going to say, I would never be surprised if a team like EnVy, TK, just somehow lost. Echo Fox lost 3 games in a row.
Really? Well,
I mean, this is a tough division. Like, it would not surprise me at all. And well, tomorrow, a big day for FaZe and Splice. Well, the 2 teams that are 3 and 5, they have 2 matches tomorrow. So
they both can't
on EnVy and they'll play FaZe.
They both can't win 2. They play each other. That's the big thing.
Wow.
Somebody's coming out of that with 2 wins. Splice has EnVy for the other one, and FaZe has Epsilon. So,
well, they're not both coming out with 2 wins, but someone's getting a win.
oh no, I'm saying I'm just saying since they play each other, you can't get 2. Somebody's taking a loss tomorrow, no matter what, basically.
So you have EG
Who will take
versus
control
Red
of that?
Reserve as well up first. That's a huge match between number 1 and number 2. You know, you have Echo Fox and TK. That's a huge match as well. Echo Fox versus Team Caliber. You know, Echo Fox, they're at 5 and 4. TK, they're at 5 and 3. So tomorrow, another big day here in Division A.
I just saw Rich dancing. I don't need to see that ever again. But for those of you that watched all the matches with us today or hopped in and out when you could, we appreciate it. It's been an incredible 2018. We still got a lot of matches to come. Still got a lot of money on the line. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for tomorrow's matches. Big days for Splice and FaZe. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern.